Ladies and gentlemen, the video that I am posting today, that you have clicked on either today or at some point in the future, is one of the rarest on this channel. In all my years of creating content, I don't think I have ever posted a video where 10 grandmasters are defeated by a person. This is probably the most impressive tournament accomplishment in quite some time. And it came at the hands of a person who doesn't even have a title. All right? So that's what I will be showing you, including a win over none other than Hikaru Nakamura. And with that, let's jump right in. That's the intro. Less than a minute long. I am talking about the one and only Ethan Sheehan. Name sounds like it could be Irish, but I don't want to guess the origin. I don't want to offend anybody. Ethan played at the Naroditsky Memorial. He played in the Blitz section, and he qualified to the top 10 round robin, where he beat Hikaru. He also drew against the incoming challenger to the World Championship and defeated Alexander Bortnik, who is 3,300 online, along with a former world champion, Ruslan Ponomariov, and a bunch of other incredibly strong players, including the training partner and close friend of Sundarov and more. This is unfathomable of a performance. By the way, I have a dinosaur Band-Aid because I hurt my finger. Anyway, in his game against Hikaru, he played e4, c5, knight of 3 d6. He also posts online, by the way. Like, I'm pretty sure he posts on, I don't know, Instagram, or I've seen some of his YouTube videos. Bishop b5 check, bishop d7. It's a 3-minute game. Ethan plays a very solid line. Rook e1, c4, d4. You know, I gotta give him kind of some credit here. He is 3:10 on the clock. Like, this dude is so fast. Hikaru calmly equalizing from the opening. He's looking to make a trade here to totally shut down this move. Ethan plays d4 quite fast, takes, and simply accepts the worst position. I mean, his position from the opening is just worse. Hikaru has won the battle, and it's kind of shocking. Sorry, it's not shocking because he just played in, like, the candidates, and he's played the candidates 5 different times. So bishop f6, knight to e7, and, you know, Ethan just kind of expands his pawns, disallowing Hikaru from controlling the center with his bishop and his knight. But from the opening, Hikaru completely took over the game. Like, Ethan was playing very quickly. Hikaru played a very nice move here. Very nice move. Actually, a very high-level decision, I have to tell you. In fact, I might even put this in my book, into How to Win at Chess Master Level. So here, bishop c3 is just like, is such a, like, why would you do that? You voluntarily give away this, but the queen comes over here, and white has severe issues defending the king side. Ethan now has to scramble. He plays f3. He goes down a pawn, and he now has to kind of move his king out of the way. You know, Hikaru's bringing the onslaught. But actually, in many ways here, Hikaru could have played some other move. He even could have retreated, just been up a pawn and slowly grinding down his opponent, but he didn't want to lose the pawn on d6. You know, he probably was like, I want to hang on to my pawn. Maybe I want to go d5, bring my rooks over here, and just win the game. And he ended up going below a minute at some moment. Maybe not right away, but he forced the position open with d5. But Ethan, completely undisturbed, just wins another pawn and is just like calling the bluff. He's defending himself. He's completely unconcerned with queen f3. He's just going to play queen g2. Hikaru ends up going rook d6 here after spending another 30 seconds and volunteering himself for a skewer. And the point is, after this, that you have to play b6. You have to give away the rook, queen f3, queen g2, and repeat moves. You give away a full rook, but you gain control of f2. But nobody's playing b6 here. Most people here are going here, like, just trying to play for a victory and checkmate. But rook g6 is losing because of this move, which Ethan finds in 1 second. And now there is a massive problem here for black because you're threatening the rook, and then it's mate. And this just can't be taken. Hikaru might have thought queen e2, but then there's knight f4 ideas. Queen e3, there is no knight f4 ideas. And within a span of a few moves, I think Hikaru ended up just tilting here because he goes down to 10 seconds, and Ethan just wins a rook and completely protects himself. And Hikaru plays knight g2, but I think he lost on time. I mean, ultimately, even the move knight g2, there actually is no threat for black. And Ethan just beats Hikaru, which is He beats Hikaru in many ways like Hikaru beats people, right? Like he maybe gets a slightly unpleasant position, but then he fights back, and he stayed up on time the whole game. He was up on time the whole game against Hikaru, which is insane. He's 400 points the underdog. Now, this was in the knockout final. He also played Sundarov, right? So this was their game earlier on in the tournament. Sundarov, obviously not 2680. He ultimately won the tournament. He won the Rapid and the Blitz. And in this game, Ethan, you can see by his clock management, he is playing the opening just as well as Javahir. He is not down any time. Rookie 8. Who's going to be the first guy to go below 3 minutes? Look at this. Who is going to be the first guy to go below 3 minutes? B3 from Sundarov almost go. Well, he did go below. He got the 2 seconds back. You know, and now the boys have a little maneuvering, you know, Italian game. Sundarov is playing fast, but Ethan is right there. Now Sundarov playing F4. The position, it looks like it could get unpleasant, but Ethan, razor sharp. B5 immediately on the other side of the board, not letting Sundarov set anything up. Sundarov now has to continue to try to get some sort of attack going, and ultimately, Ethan does go below him on the clock, but Sundarov has to sacrifice the quality of his play. He is not getting anywhere here, and Ethan is completely taking over on the queen side. Sundarov is getting closer on the clock. Rook c7. Black is still completely equal with checkmating chances. And right here, if queen b4 had been played, black would have been a lot better. Anyway, ultimately what happens is they go for a bullet game, and actually Javahir right here allows queen takes d3, and he is actually losing this endgame. It is completely lost if queen takes d3 is played here. And it is played. And after pawn takes, king takes h7, and queen to g4, if Ethan had played queen to f1 check, king to h2, queen f2 check, it was check here, and now the only winning move is if black plays king h6 voluntarily. King to h6 is very important. Because that way you avoid various queen checks, and you put your queen on e3 on the next move, and you just push your pawn. It's very difficult to play king h6 in a time scramble. Frankly, it's difficult to play it in really any setting, but you're trying to prevent queen h5 check. Ultimately, though, we get this move, and the game ends in a draw here because, you know, the boys call it a day. Ethan was completely winning. If Ethan had actually played king h6 in this position, he obviously just thought it was a draw, but he had a minute. And if king h6, he needed to give this check and this check and protect his pawn and then go king h6, and now there is no way to check the king. And since there is no way to check the king, you play d3, and even if I play h5 threatening mate, it's check, and we trade the queens. So he was completely winning against Sundarov, but ultimately he made a draw. And I have a bunch more games for you. He beat Artur Znekshans. This game was not on a broadcast table, but he won this game. And then he worked his way back to the stage, to the broadcasted games. He played a Wonder Liang at some point, a Wonder in this game with the white pieces. He entered also in Italian, and he played a reverse Stafford Gambit, which is, you know, a really bold opening choice. Ethan, completely unconcerned, like doesn't want to, you know, take any risks at all, playing rock solid. Again, look at Ethan's time, 2:50 on the clock. Bro has spent 9 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever, in 15 moves, and he's just so quick. Like, he just plays rock solid, doesn't take any risk. Bishop f5 is, I don't know why that's given a brilliant. I guess rook f5, there's like back rank checkmate. I don't know. A Wonder at some point is like, all right, I mean, I probably need to like try to win, right? This dude is lower rated than me. A Wonder's like, I'm going to go try to win. This dude is lower rated than me. And a Wonder gets himself into a totally losing rook endgame because he just loses a pawn. But Ethan has 119 to 4 seconds. He is such a menace. I don't know how he plays this well and this cold-blooded, and he just beats a Wonder Liang. Like, he just doesn't even... Ultimately, he gave a Wonder some chances to draw this in a queen endgame. He probably just thought he was completely winning. Doesn't matter. You know, the game goes on and on and on, and ultimately, like, he wins because holding a queen endgame is impossible in low time. But all his games were fighting games. Like, in every game that Ethan was playing, let's look at it from his perspective. Like, you know, here's a game, he plays mainline English, d4, he plays d6, super solid. Bishop here, knight f6, he's happily going for an endgame of de, right? De, queen d8, king d8, the bishop is going to go to b4. Like, this can happen, knight d7, king c7, and if there's bishop b4 all the time. So, you know, this is a terrible structure for white, so black is just totally happy here. You know, and his opponent, who's very experienced, grandmaster, 2600. Also, I think Apadrin helps Fabiano Caruana prepare for his games. Ethan is still playing the entire game basically instantly. Like, this dude has to give me lessons on keeping a poker face. He isn't thinking. He's not thinking. The opponent is thinking, and Ethan is just like calmly equalizing. Rook b4. What is rook b4? And then queen b8 to take control of the file, and c5 to lock up the center, and then puts the rook on b2. And he finally starts spending a little bit of time, but he has a much more pleasant position. You know, knight c8, he's looking for infiltration on the queen side. And knight a7, he's looking at knight a7, knight c6, knight d4. He loses a pawn in the center of the board, and now he only has 40 seconds. But he manages to completely out-scramble his opponent. Here his opponent had a dominant position, but he chooses a wrong way forward. And Ethan, with 6 seconds on the clock, clutches the comeback. Bishop h3 is there. It's looking like it could be a draw. The knight, look at this. The knight re-enters the game. The cow crosses back from the highway back to the farm. And the game is just finished because white is totally outplayed in the scramble. And it's good to be young and play a time scramble because your nervous system just holds together way more. Queen f4, knight g3, knight back to f5 is a discovered check, is an attack on the queen. Ethan wins another game in a scramble. And then he has to take on Bortnik and Ruslan Ponomariov. Those were his last two opponents, Bortnik and Ruslan Ponomariov, and then he needed to enter the round robin blitz final. So he plays Bortnik, Bortnik is 3,300 blitz online. Like, Bortnik is one of the best, probably a top 10 player in the world in 3-0 format, maybe even just like overall online, and he's also very strong offline. But obviously playing with a three-dimensional physical board is different than playing in the online format. Now, in this game, Alexander plays e4, and then he plays a 4 knights with h3. Okay, it's just like a completely normal line. d5, I guess, okay, the clocks were being weird. We have this, bishop b5, we have a trade, and Ethan just knows his openings extremely well, happily goes for some position, and plays the move f5. And again, it is Bortnik who is spending his time. Like, he's playing an opponent that's just rattling off these moves. Castles, rook e8, f5, you know, and then like Bortnik is doing some repositioning here. Bishop f4 is a very clever move. Ethan just plays bishop d7. Bortnik has 120 on the clock. Ethan has double his time and then some in this position. Black is just very comfortable, total control of the center of the board. Bortnik jumps in with his knight. Black is just waiting, makes a nice pawn break. Queen e6 taking control of the diagonal. Takes. Bishop f7, he could already consider even g5, f4, e3, and from this point forward, the evaluation bar of this game is a complete and total steep decline until black wins. Bortnik goes a4, preventing the pawn from being taken. Just rook d7, attacking the center, c3, queen c6, complete domination of the light squares, queen to e3, queen takes a4 is a mistake, but it's a free pawn in an endgame, who wouldn't take it? Bishop e6, queen c4, now you can't take the pawn on a7, so Bortnik plays bishop g3, c5, and that's it. We are hammering the center, and we are up double our opponent's time, and then some. Black has a 2.5 time advantage. Bortnik goes bishop h4, rook goes to c8, the pressure's on, we chop down the center, and black is just winning in this endgame. 1 minute and 1 second on the clock for Ethan, h6, g5, f4, e3. The avalanche of pawns will descend upon the white position, break this apart completely, and that's it. And it's going to be a decisive game. King g1, there's e3, doesn't even wait for the other pawn. King f1, and just lethal. Completely lethal. If king e1, the rook slides out of the way, and the king is stuck in a box, he can't even escape. Even though the bishop covers promotion and there's check, Ethan spots all of this in like 2 seconds. He's not even thinking. Bortnik has 8 seconds on the clock. Rook a8 check, king to f7. Plays king to g1 to get out of the way. The king is hunted over here and like just e2. And you can attack the rook, like you can attack the bishop like this. The bishop goes back to d7, the pawn's promoting. He gives him another check, rook back to d7, and ultimately just f4. You don't even have to do anything here. g5, the pawns are moving, and it's Ethan with rook f1 on the board, and that's it. I mean, bishop g1, there's just f2. Obviously, even here, he could have probably played rook f1, but he moves the bishop out of the way, and then he plays rook f1. And this is just a complete domination from start to finish against one of the best blitz players in the world. And then, on top of that, you pair him against a former world champion. Like, Ruslan Ponomariov when they say that Gukesh is the youngest ever world champ, it's kind of true because he's the youngest ever world champion in the modern format. But then there's like people who are like, well, technically, if you look at the age they were when they became world champion, Ruslan was younger than Gukesh. So technically, Ruslan is the youngest ever world champion. I played him, he killed me, but that doesn't really matter because I'm not as strong as Ethan. Ethan is way better than me. So you're playing a former world champ. This is the last round of the tournament. If he beats you, he makes it to the knockout, which would make sense because he's a legend and an extremely strong player who, I mean, I had to speak, I don't know, I assume he was top 5, but undoubtedly top 10, top, whatever in the world. I know he was the world champion, but the format was a little different, and I think that was when they were splitting the titles. Yes, that happened. Anyway, long story short, we have a Rasalimo, we have castles, and I've actually played this line myself with black, not queen b6, but queen b6 is the move played, and Ruslan goes for this position with the knight on g6. He takes, dominant control of the dark squares, knight e2, and Ethan is shuffling his pieces around to make room for his queen side to move. b3, keeping it super solid. Rook d1, waiting for his moment, and Ruslan here is like really playing with fire. He doesn't want to touch the pawn in the center of the board. f4 is a great move, and if white can get a typical Sicilian attack with the queen and the bishops pointed in this direction, white is just going to win. Another thing that white could do is maybe put the knight on c5, which would be a massive headache for black. It's all going to come down to what happens between these 5 pawns. Whoever wins the battle of these pawns will probably win the game. So rook c8, e5. Already, that's maybe a victory for white. Sealing off the center and locking it and opening up the bishops to point at the other side of the board. g3 is a waiting move. It's a very normal blitz move, but it allows this. Like, there is a case to be made. You maybe needed to wall something out, but obviously this bishop is worse than this bishop, so you don't want to play c5. But okay, c5, h4, he's clearly going for an attack. Ruslan plays queen c6, which is the best move. And it's clear that Ruslan has very bad intentions for his opponent, but knight c3 is well timed because now whatever happens, something will go to e4, this will all be stopped. White can also play king h2, and there's not going to be some sort of mate maybe on like h1. f5 is the move played, and now the center opens up. Rook d5 is an amazing move. You have to give this away. Queen d5 is an incredibly strong battery, but king f1... King h2, there would have been mate, but king f1 running the king into the middle, and the game is total chaos. Ethan is up against the wall against a world championship caliber player who's hunting his king into the center. King e1, Ethan down nearly a minute on time. Queen c3, queen f3, rook c1, he's reshuffling his pieces, and suddenly Ethan back in the game. Queen trade is incoming, bishop e6 is there, and Ruslan has to trade the queens, and he's going to win this rook. But in the meantime, he's going to lose his own rook on c8, and even though you can take that bishop, rook to d8 check, Ethan has outcalculated his legend opponent, and he is completely winning. Even I can beat Ruslan Ponomariov in this position, even if Magnus was helping him and using Stockfish, because this is very easy. You just take this pawn, and then you just promote. I think I could even do that win against that combo of players. Maybe not with 40 seconds on the clock, but... king e6, and this is just totally lost because, I mean, black just can't move anything. You can just attack, go straight down, rook a8. If knight e7, you play rook a7. Here's how you can even win this endgame. You just play a4, and then you sack everything. And this is GG, because black can't stop the pawns. So Stockfish can use Stockfish, and then that Stockfish can also use Stockfish, and they can all connect to the biggest, Google servers in the world, and it wouldn't help. This is a completely lost position. So having said all that, yeah, he beats Ruslan and he makes it to the knockout, and then, not the knockout, he makes it to the Blitz final, which is ridiculous because he's 2400 and not untitled. And on top of that, there he beats Hikaru, and he also beats a bunch of other really strong grandmasters, including, I'm assuming, his name is pronounced Simeon Khanyan, but I think you have to say Simeon Khanyan. And he is a Russian grandmaster. I think he's studying now in the United States. And there is Mukhudin Madaminov. Madaminov just won the Uz Chess Masters. Vasif Durarbayli, strong grandmaster. I've played, he's been featured on this channel before. And Sam Sevian, who is just the 2700 all the time. I mean, in no particular order, like, you think, oh, Ethan made it to the knockout. That's adorable. He probably just like got some good sleep and drank a few coffees, even though he shouldn't because he's like 16. Okay, that's cute. He's probably going to get completely destroyed. And he just, like, I don't remember if this was round 1. I can't recall, but, you know, he just plays an Italian, one of these Italians where you're baiting the opponent into playing G5, and the opponent plays G5, and it's a very sharp game. And Ethan is up 2 minutes. Like, it's clear his opponent was... You know, Ethan was in his opponent's head. That's the way this stuff works. I've been there. You know, you feel like you're the favorite, and you have to find your way through this position. And Ethan is building a 5-bedroom mansion in your brain. D4 is right there. He has 2:43 on the clock. Like, the dude's not even thinking. He's completely destroying you. 28 seconds, and before the opponent can let out a fart, the game is done. He is hit with a tactic. Knight D7 hits the rook, and Ethan Sheehan just, like, completely... He beats the opponent as if the opponent was me. I feel like he just completely destroys him. You can't even cross the center line, and the rook can't even stop 2 pawns. White will just play c6, c7, b7. Ethan played 38 moves without even going below 2 minutes. Like, the dude could have won 3-1 odds in this game. And that was just round 1. Then he had to play Hikaru, the training partner of Sundarov, Durarbayli, Sevian. I mean, he is so good. It's completely crazy. This was 94% accuracy. Here's his game against Ponomariov, okay, who, again, just won a tournament and is helping coach the guy that's going to play for the World Championship. Ponomariov is probably a person that is top 15, top 20 in the world right now in terms of form, all right? Like, if Monaminov's not going to do this, but if he wanted to, if you ran a simulation of him playing classical rapid and blitz tournaments, he just played because he's acquiring all this knowledge through being a training partner of one of the best players in the world right now, all his ratings would go plus 100, minimum. Like, minimum, all right? He's just not playing that much. So, you know, he shows up, he's like, all right, you know, let's play a little Spanish, all right, and speaking of, Ethan plays a sideline of the Spanish, he plays d6, bishop, d7, and then he plays g6, bishop, g7, very nice line, by the way, in the Spanish, if you're looking for one to play at your local tournaments. Rook e8, rook e7, d5 is an incorrect move from Ponomariov. He needed to be a little bit more patient here. You don't want to block out your bishop in this line, and Ethan, well, immediately allows him to reopen it, but actually he just targets the pawn in the middle, and if you can get d5 in basically any Spanish, Italian position as black, and open the center, and you've prepared it, you're going to have a great game. So pawn takes d5, bishop takes d5, and it's a huge battle incoming. Can we address something? Black has 2:49 on the clock after 20 moves. This is not normal. I have no idea how he can play that fast. I don't know how it's possible to not just physically play that fast, to trust yourself, to have the nervous system that you are playing good moves the entire time. And at some point, it's going to come back to get him because, you know, Monaminov's also going to try to really lock in here and play really fast. And Black is, like, keeping it really chill. And at some point, Ethan's going to make a mistake. So he goes for this transformation. His endgame skills are, you know, that's the strongest... That's the hardest part to develop, queen c3, and now White is just winning. Like, White is winning with the move queen a2, but White has 29 seconds. Your heart is racing. Queen to d2 instead is what he plays. Ethan's just still hanging around. And ultimately, we go to rook, you know, we get hit with rook takes c5. And you can't take the rook ever because the queen is hanging. So Ponomariov goes for this, and he doesn't go for the endgame, even though it was possible. He's trying to keep some pieces on the board, but he weakens his king, and that's it. I mean, queen here, and there's going to be some sort of mate somewhere at some moment. 4 seconds for White. Ethan playing incredibly fast still. Queen e4 just loses. He was trying to stop, I don't know. I mean, he was just trying to play a move to not lose on time. I get the feeling, but you needed to keep the queen with eyes on here. You go here. h4 is played by Black. It doesn't even matter. I mean, queen d1 or h4 was winning. And this is just the end of the game. Queen b5, e2. He promotes to a rook. And he is just up a bishop, and that's checkmate on the back rank. Yo, if Sundarov needs another training partner, he should bring on Ethan, because, like, the dude's a massive problem. And I have 2 more games. And the last game I'm going to show you is the most impressive. He beat Sevian with 97% precision. After he won this game, he was almost winning the entire round robin, which features Sundarov, Hikaru, you know, legends like Gelfand, there's Durarbayli, like, you see the players there. It's a bunch of strong players, and he was nearly winning it. His game against Vasif, very topsy-turvy. You don't just, win games by playing fast and putting pressure on your opponents. Sometimes you also need a little bit of luck. In this game, Ethan early on just made an inaccuracy, gave away his bishop, and was getting absolutely fried. Like, this position here, Black could have just played a5 and maybe taken on d5, but he takes on d5, and the position is just bad. And it's going to get worse, Ethan's going to go down a pawn near his king. Rook b5, I mean, he's just getting completely smashed, right? Which happens. It happens. And you can either get smashed and panic and lose, which is what I would do in this position, or you can fight back. He plays f4, and now he has to play queen f3, which is the only way to survive, by the way. Vasif wins another pawn, right? Vasif is just a pawn up, all right? Rook to d1, rook e8, and Black is like -3 here, and rook e2 here would end the game on the spot. Rook e2... total domination, you can't take because of queen h1 mate. Instead of that, we have bishop to c5. And this man, Ethan, somehow finds his way back into this game. f5, rook a8. He's trading off the rook, and now not only is he equal, he is winning. Not anymore. And now Black is better because queen takes e1 check, and, you can play queen e5 and queen f5. But, okay, we have h6. The position is going to be equal for a while, and it's going to be equal. It's going to be a mad scramble. Black has a bishop. White has a bishop for 2 pawns. I mean, a queen and a bishop can't beat a queen, but a queen and a bishop can beat a king and a queen when the king is kind of like surrounded like this, and especially in blitz when you're going to make some mistake. Queen b1, queen e4. Ethan runs his king completely across the board, begins the checking process. Vasif is just winning or trying to win. His pawn is going to promote, and on the 61st move, he goes here and blunders checkmate in 2. In this position, he should have went to g2. He should have ran to h1 or f1, just kind of hid over here and tried to promote, and instead of that, he goes back, and Ethan gets a little lucky, and that's the way it goes sometimes. And in this game, Ethan didn't get lucky at all. He played Sam Sevian with the black pieces, and he won one of his most impressive games. Like the game against Hikaru, he was defending, obviously. In this game, this was another Italian. Look, Sevian is playing this h6 thing, and he's trying to get Ethan to play g5, and Ethan's like, okay, fantastic, I'm going to play g5. And then he's going to play h5, and then he's going to play g4, and he's looking at Sevian the entire time like, be careful what you ask for, bro, because I'm clearly on top of the world. I have a ton of confidence. Sevian in this position just completely leaves the knight here. It's like a Trojan horse. He's trying to play f4. He's like barely even thinking. Knight d7. Both guys know the variation. f4, f6. The knight is gone. The knight is completely gone, but Sevian trying to blow up the board, and it just doesn't work. I mean, clearly Sevian went into this like with some sort of idea in mind. Like he was obviously bluffing. There was some line here where after FG, like maybe there was some sort of attack. Yeah, but Sevian just gets carved up. Bishop to e3 is easy. And then he trades the bishop, he just wins the knight. Both the knights protect the king, and Ethan completely and totally, without any doubts at all, eviscerates Sevian. Now, Sevian didn't have a great day. I think he went 3 out of 9. Yes, he went 3 out of 9. He won 2, he lost 5, and he made 2 draws. After this win, Ethan had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. He lost his next round against Wesley So, and then he drew against Andy Woodward, but overall he gained something like 90 rating points and is now 2,500 FIDE Blitz, I'm pretty sure. So his Blitz rating is his highest rating. Classical, he's like 2380. I don't even think he has a single GM norm. Not because he's not skilled enough, I just don't think he plays much. So this, he got like 3rd place. This was the knockout. Not the knockout, I keep calling it that. He got 3rd. Hikaru got 4th. Or 5th. And he got 4th. I mean, this is absurd. And Sundarov won, and obviously huge congratulations to him, blah, blah, blah. Like, people think he's going to be the world champion, etc. This is, without a doubt, one of the most impressive 2-day combo of chess, like, ever. I mean, 10 wins against grandmasters, 2,400. The guy's like 3,000 online. A lot of people are 3,000 online, including an idiot that you're looking at right now. I've made it to 3,000 online. If you put me in this round robin, I would score 0 points and probably end the day with diarrhea. And the two would not be connected. I probably just ate something bad for lunch. So shout out to Ethan, a player to look out for, and he better become a grandmaster, right? Like, obviously at this point, if he doesn't, all of us can lose hope, not just for me, like yeah, insanity. That's all I have for you today. If you actually made it this far in the video, I forgot to plug this in the beginning. I got to plug it. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep plugging this. You can get a signed copy before they're sold out. Pre-order it at Strand. Link is in the description. That's all I have for you. Get out of here.